Hey guys, and welcome to your new lesson. This one is kind of more practice and kind of plays off the last lesson that we had, where we played around with animations and we used a lot of transitions, and we used a lot of animation timings, and we used like on click, with previous, after previous, and things like that. So in this lesson, excuse me, we're actually going to get into kind of a history of the internet, and we're going to look at all these different definitions and what does it mean when you say server and client. What do these terms mean? What is the history of the internet, and certain things like LAN versus WAN, and what's the difference between a local area network and a wide area network. There's lots of acronyms in this lesson, and let's just kind of get right into it here. Excuse me again. All right. So your learning goal for this lesson is that students will be able to create a PowerPoint presentation based on credible research about the history of the internet. Your objective is that students will create a 10-slide PowerPoint presentation about the history of the internet. This presentation will also include basic internet vocabulary as well as DNS vocabulary. Some of this vocabulary is not so basic. I will just say that right now. Some of it is, like www, pretty basic. You guys should all kind of know what that is and what that does. HTTP, you guys could kind of know what that is. It's at the beginning of every single web domain. Sometimes you see a little S after it that stands for it's a secure network. But this is Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and we'll get into that in just a second. Oh, why don't I keep going away? And then you have .com, .gov, .edu, .net. These are all domain name suffixes. Suffixes. I don't know. I'm gonna Google that. Then you got network, LAN, WAN, server, client, hyperlink, URL, HTML, DNS. So much fun. All right, and this lesson itself, let me refresh this here. Let me give you a good view of this lesson. Is made up of videos and articles and things where you're just gonna have to look through certain links in order to find some information in order to complete the directions here on slide 9, I think it is. I don't know. It looks like slide 9. All right. And it basically says, start a new PowerPoint here, and it doesn't say that, but it will. For slide 1, use the default title layout, all right? And in the title placeholder, give your presentation a name. And the subtitle placeholder, type your name in the class period. Okay, so start a new presentation. We can do this. Blank presentation. We could start a theme presentation too, but I think I'm gonna create my own. In fact, it probably says so in the directions. I'm gonna go ahead and call this History of the Internet. Internet. I did that in post. And then put your name, Mr. T. I'm gonna say I'm in period 4 this time. Welcome, period 4, people. All right. Use the curtain transition for the title slide only. Okay. Add fly-in entrance animation to the title placeholder and the subtitle placeholder. Set both animations to come in with previous. All right, a couple easy things here. Transitions tab. We're going to do a curtain transition, which is right here. There it is. And then it says it wants entrance animations of fly-in to both the title box and the content box, or the subtitle placeholder. So we're going to go to the animations tab. We're going to say fly in. Right now it's flying in from the bottom. That's fine with me. Fly in again. If I want to change it, I can go ahead and say like from the left or something like that, and have one come in from the bottom and one from the left. And now change the timings of this stuff so I don't have to click, because it says to come in with previous, which means it's going to come in with the slide itself because there's nothing else before happening besides the slide coming in. So we're going to say with previous. Now let's play it. Curtain transition, no clicking, no clicking, no clicking. Title, see, both at the same time, both at the same time, boom. All right, here we go. What else do we have to do? Let's see here. Okay, minor technical difficulties here, sorry. Add a theme to your entire presentation. So here we go. That's why it's so ugly and plain right now. We're going to do this right now. You may also use a high quality image for your background and create your own theme, remembering our lesson on color theory. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and search for an image. I'm going to pause this real quick and search for an image to use for my background, and I'll show you how to do that. All right, so I just did a search for technology theme backgrounds, and I found this one. I'm just going to go ahead and grab it, save image as. I'm going to go ahead and say is the background that I used for my last image. Put it on my desktop. It's 2764449, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so when I go back to my PowerPoint now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and go to the Design tab. I'm going to go to Format Background. And I'm going to go ahead and say I want to picture or texture fill from a file. And then I'm going to go ahead and say, oh God, there's my video from yesterday. My desktop. And here's all my charts. I want this image. Boom. That's kind of techy, right? Kind of, sort of. So now look at my title boxes. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of work on this because I can't really see my text. So what I'm going to do for my title boxes is kind of do a fill, like this see-through fill that I like to do. It's kind of my thing. So I'm going to go to Format and Drawing Tools, and I'm going to go to Shape Fill, and I might do like a gradient fill. Something kind of like that for the background. Or I could probably do a style here and it would look really good because it would give me a little bit of transparentness to the background itself. So something like this would be really cool, or something like that with the blue. Remember our lesson on color theory. I could just do semi-transparent black outline, kind of like that, so that it sticks out against the background. And again, I'm just going to click on my text box, go to Drawing Tools Format, and under Shape Styles, I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to use one of these jobs here. And that looks really good. Something like that. Okay. All right, so I have my slide. I'm going to go ahead and say New Slide here. I think that's what I'm going to do. Let me go ahead and check the directions, Mr. Turner. For slide 2, use the title and content layout and enter what is the internet into the title placeholder. For the content box, we're going to explain what the internet is for this one. All right. So slide 2, I'm going to go ahead and use my Format Painter and get my background happening in slide 2. All right, it's under the Home tab. Click on slide 1, go to Format Painter, and then go ahead and click on slide 2. Here, I'm going to say, what is the internet? All right, and here I'm just going to answer that. I'm going to use my blend space link here because the first video that I have to watch is called History of the Internet. Boom. And then right here, what is the internet from GCF Learn Free? I have a little link there that I can read in order to find out the answer to that question. All right, we do have to make it a title and content layout. And then we have to insert a text box basically explaining the internet, a definition of the internet. Use the video in your BlendSpace account for reference, like I just showed you. All right, so we're going to go back to our PowerPoint real quick. In slide 2, we already have our text here. You can see our text is too dark. So let's go ahead and change the text to white. Let's go ahead and do that same shape style to our text box so that we can kind of see through it or see the text on top of it. All right, that's a nice little effect. And right here you can see we have a nice little content box where we can just add some text, or I can use it to go ahead and put in my picture, because in the directions it does say that I have to have a picture for this one too. Set animations to the title, placeholder, entrance animation. Both animations should be set to with previous. Insert an image to illustrate the internet and a basic plastic wrap artistic picture effect to the image. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and, if it were me, I would use this as a content box. Use a picture here. I'm going to use Bing image search for the internet. And I'm just going to say, let's find a cool one. That's cool. Whatever. This is cool. Whatever. Let's do that one. and it says a plastic wrap artistic effect, which is right over here. You have picture effects, and then you have artistic effects. And then if you hover over them, they're all called something kind of like what they look like. So this one is plastic wrap. Boom. Okay, so now I have a nice image here. I'm going to go ahead and insert just a random text box. And then go ahead and answer the question, what is the internet? Make sure you watch the videos to do that. I'm going to go ahead and insert slide 3. I'm going to use my format painter again to go ahead and attach my background to slide 3. All right, and you should be saving incrementally as you go on. All right, make sure you add your entrance and animations to your text boxes after you get your information about what is the internet. All right. Add entrance animation to the image and set timing to after previous. Okay, so that's for the picture that we just inserted. Make sure you go back and do that. For slide 3, answer the question, what is a network? Compare and contrast the two types of networks and what they stand for. So we have two types of networks. We have LAN versus WAN. And for slide 3, it wants us to answer the question, what is a network? Okay. All right, so in slide 3, I'm going to go ahead and do my text, LAN versus WAN. I'm going to go ahead and change my text color to white again, do my same shape style effect. Since I've got that going, I want to keep it consistent. LAN versus WAN, these are the two types of networks, local area network and wide area network, and then go ahead and tell me the difference between the two. And again, this is kind of the same thing. I would probably use maybe a 2-content layout, maybe change my layout here to a 2-content because I need LAN versus WAN, and I might want like a picture here and maybe a content box where I can type a paragraph. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and new slide, and again, format painter on my new slide, and then let's set that up. For slide 4, compare and contrast the internet versus the World Wide Web. All right, so you can see here I've already set up slide 4. I have my internet versus the World Wide Web. I have 2 content boxes here where I can compare and contrast the internet versus the World Wide Web. And again, I'm going to use my BlendSpace account for that information. You have videos on your slides in this account. Go back and find internet versus World Wide Web. That's LAN versus WAN right there. LAN versus WAN. There's URL. This is what is the World Wide Web. This is what is the internet. So you have all your information here. You do have to do a little bit of reading and a little bit of scavenger hunting for the information. Insert an image on slide 4 to illustrate the difference of the internet and the World Wide Web. Add an entrance animation of your choice to the placeholder. All timing should be set to with previous. So that's all for slide 4. Make sure you go back and do that for slide 4. And at this point, you should kind of know how to do that. For slide 5, answer the question, what is a URL? And give one example of a website URL. Insert arrows and shapes that point to the detail part about each what a URL is. And we actually have something here that breaks down what a URL is. You can see HTTP just stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. That's the first part of your URL that you always see. And then you have www, which is World Wide Web. Then you have the actual domain name, all right, which is, here it's whatever this example is. And then you have .org, .com, .edu, .gov, and these are all the different parts. You're going to give me an example in your new slide, in slide 5. Let me go ahead and do my format painter here. I'm just going to say URL. Yeah, I was going to say URL dissected, but that's a little grim. And I'm going to go ahead and change my layout here. No, I'm going to keep it to content. URL. So here I'm going to go ahead and enter a random web address, and then I'm going to go ahead and add shapes. Yeah, I am going to change it. I'm just going to say title and content. I'm going to say, HTTP : www.britneyspears.com. I'm going to go ahead and make my text a little bit bigger. Right now it's size 28. I got to be able to see this since it's pretty much the whole point of the entire slide. I'm going to go ahead and probably change my text to white as well. And go ahead and do my format, shape style, so I can actually see it. And now I'm going to use shapes. And I'm going to use shapes to point to each part of my URL. and just basically say what it is. I'm going to say insert. I'm going to say shape. I'm going to say arrow. I'm going to say, what is this? This is the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, World Wide Web, domain name suffix. Okay, and that's the different parts of the URL. You can just copy this. Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. Now I have 4 arrows. And you can just type right into the shapes. You can just click on the shape and start typing. Okay. Type in me. All right. Let's go ahead and see what else we have to do for this presentation. Let's go back to our directions. Add entrance animations to all shapes. So for all my arrows, I have to add entrance animations so that all parts of the URL are in sync. All right, so as the URL comes in, the shape has to come in and point to it. So actually what I probably would want to do is do 4 different text boxes as well. Put this in one text box, put this in another text box, put this in another text box, so I can animate them separately and make them come in with the arrows, because that's what the directions kind of want us to do. For slide 6, please explain what edu.com.org stand for. Briefly describe each one. Add entrance animations to all shapes. Oh, they want us to use shapes to explain what all these are. So for slide 6, new slide, format painter. I'm probably going to use a lot of these shapes. I'm going to probably get rid of my content boxes and use a lot of these. And just say, you know, .com, it stands for .commercial, you know, and then maybe rotate it, you know, change the fill color of it. Something else. That's really ugly there. It's not much better, but whatever. And then say like .edu, you know, .education, and you have to do all of them. Okay, so .com, .gov, .edu, .org, .net. All right. For slide 7, please explain the difference between a server and a client. Easy. Animate the title. Okay, I'll leave you guys to do all the animations. Slide 8, explain DNS. All right, so we got 2 more slides here. Slide 7, slide 8, format painter. All right, and slide 8 is all about DNS. For slide 9, create your own slide layout with 6 image placeholders. Ooh, and if you don't remember how to do this, for slide 9, I'm going to say new slide, but I got to create a new layout here. So I'm going to go to slide masters, which is under the view tab, slide masters. I'm going to say insert my own layout. I'm going to say insert placeholder because it wants picture placeholders, and I want 6 of them. So I'm going to say 1. This is for a hyperlink thing is what we're doing here. Slide masters again. I'm going to say picture placeholder. 2. Slide master again. Or I can just copy. Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. Quickest way to do stuff. Should have probably done that anyway, so I got the same size pictures. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and say, let me space these out a little bit better. Because this is basically going to be your hyperlink slide. You're going to have 6 hyperlinks here, but you're going to use pictures. Something like that, okay? And then I'm going to rename the slide layout. I forget what it wants us to rename. Faves. Rename. So then we have a new slide layout. We're going to close this. For slide 9, we're going to use the layout called faves. Boom, right there that we just created ourselves. All right, so you're going to insert pictures here. 6 images to represent your 6 favorite websites. Hyperlink each image so that when they are clicked, they carry the user to that website. Okay, so you're going to basically insert the images. I would Google search the images first and get like the YouTube icon or something like that, or the Britney icon to go to BritneySpears.com and insert that image here. Because again, this icon here will insert images from your computer. So do some Google searches, find your 6 favorite icons from your 6 favorite websites. And when you do, you're going to go to the Insert tab here, or you're going to right click and you're going to say hyperlink. and you'll see it over here after you insert your actual image. It's probably not there right now, and it's grayed out over here too. So after you insert your image, you're going to say hyperlink, and you're going to type in the web address to that particular website. All right, so you can see here, for example, I use a Pokeball, and I'm probably going to hyperlink this to Nintendo.com. And if I want to do that, fine and dandy, I'm going to right click and say hyperlink, or go to the insert tab. And over here I have all these different options for web page, placing this document, email address, create new document. But right here, I'm probably just going to type in Nintendo.com. And I hope that's a real website. I don't know if it is. You should probably Google yours before you actually put them in there. And when you're done, make sure you guys look at all your directions. Again, this whole project, even though you're looking at DNS, you're looking at URLs, you're looking at the history of the internet, you're looking at the World Wide Web, LAN versus WAN, all this internet vocabulary. Even though you're looking at that, it's still a PowerPoint presentation. We're still practicing with animations and transitions. So please make sure that all your animations and transitions do follow the directions. All right. And all right, that's pretty much it. Bye.